Hi, I'm Roger.
And I'm Lisa.
We want to tell you about New Directions EAP, confidential services provided to you free of charge.
Both of us are EAP professionals, and we've talked to a lot of people over the years who call looking for guidance when everyday life gets out of hand. Frustrations like stress or change at work.
Budgeting, credit, needing a lawyer, questions about parenting and relationships.
Like Mark and Alice.
We only argue about little things, never about the big ones.
She makes the big decisions.
I suppose I bought the SUV.
You got to pick the color.
You wanted silver. Everyone knows that silver looks dirty all the time.
So we got a red one, and it never gets dirty.
That's why we called New Directions. We argued about every little thing all the time.
The call is free, and when you call, one of our experienced telephone staff helps you decide what services are right for you. About 75% of the people who call make an appointment to see one of our EAP professionals face-to-face. These short-term face-to-face sessions are also free of charge to you. Why do people use this service? Some people use the EAP to learn new skills, like how to relate to people better at work. Others have special challenges. The EAP professional offers you a sounding board when things get tough, or when you just need some motivation to change. Take Carrie, for instance.
I'm a high-energy person, and I never worried about stress. I mean, for me, stress is a 4-letter word, because at least one of those stresses is multitasking. Everyone I know complains about stress all the time, but me? Isn't life supposed to be stressful? At home, at work, I just take a deep breath and dive in. Well, that is until I saw my doctor this year. He said, Carrie, you just turned 30, and look what's happening to you. So I gained 10 pounds, so my blood pressure's up a bit. So I'm up half the night working in front of the TV. So I have no time for a social life. I see plenty of people at work, don't I? So what? It always used to work for me all through my 20s, but now that I've turned 30, not so much. Then one of my friends, someone just as stressed as me, suddenly looked like she had it all together. I asked, and she told me she called New Directions.
A lot of people who come to see us are just like Carrie. Something about their lives needs to change before a little challenge turns into a big problem. By calling New Directions, getting some information, and sitting down face-to-face with an EAP professional, you can make just about any kind of change you want to make. Sometimes you don't even know you have a problem until something in your life shifts, just like it did for Nicole.
You get your paycheck, you spend your paycheck. I mean, as long as you're paying all your bills, you're doing okay, right? Well, at least that's what I thought until my roommate skipped out on me last year, leaving me to pay her share of the rent and a really ginormous telephone bill. I mean, that just wasn't right. Did I have anything in reserve? Of course not. So I'm telling the story to some of my friends at work, and someone says, go look at the EAP website. Did I know the EAP even had a website? I mean, why would I? And did I need information? No. I needed someone to write me a check.
The New Directions website gives you thousands of resources about a whole host of different topics. Information about your health, healthy lifestyles, family life, emotional life, finances, legal, personal growth. You can even register to get a daily email at whatever email address you want. And you can get answers to questions by registering for our My Personal EAP service. When Nicole went online, she found out that her EAP included a 30-minute free consultation with a financial counselor, and she decided to make that her first step to working through her financial shortfall. Or you can do what Jeff did and use the interactive Will Maker.
I always wanted a dog growing up, but my parents, and both your parents work, well, dogs just didn't fit in at my house. So now that I'm on my own, I found Killer here. But then I'm thinking, so what if something happens to me? Not that I'm expecting anything to happen, but what if it does? Perfect solution. My sister can take care of Killer. Except then she goes and marries a guy who's allergic to cats and dogs. So now what?
As you can see, the EAP has resources for all sorts of everyday challenges. But what about the big stuff? The things that happen that you didn't expect? like a sudden loss of someone close to you or an illness? What if you can't get interested in anything anymore, or your stress keeps you up worrying every night for weeks? The EAP can help with all that, whether you want some answers about a child's school performance, a teen getting into drugs, help when life at work is suddenly changing, or information about a health issue like depression. We've been helping people with things like this for years.
You can call us any hour of the day or night, weekends and holidays, to talk with an EAP professional for help right now, and an appointment for a face-to-face session if you need one.
Remember, the EAP offers confidential services that are free of charge to you and your immediate family. We have resources for everyday challenges and the big life-changing ones. People who call us are glad they did. Most people get the answers they want at the EAP, or information about additional things they can do to make their lives better.
The EAP professional helped us learn how to talk to each other without bickering. No more taking pot shots.
We found out ways to make a good marriage great. So now we don't have to argue over the little things.
Even though red cars still look cleaner than silver cars.
The difference is we know what's important, what's worth arguing over, and what's not.
What did I learn from the EAP? To stay focused, uncluttered, and coordinated. To take one thing at a time. To say no sometimes. To make better choices for myself. Do I miss the bad old days? Absolutely not. In fact, remember my friend who put it all together? Well, she got promoted. And guess who got her old job?
I really wanted the EAP to write me a check to cover my roommate's bills, but of course that didn't happen. What did happen was I found out how to talk to my landlord and the phone company and put together a plan to get that taken care of. I also learned a lot about putting together a nest egg for emergencies and saving for the future. Like, maybe I want to go back to school or buy a place of my own or even retire someday. I know how to get ready. Oh, and the EAP also gave me a free consultation with a lawyer. It wasn't easy to find my old roommate and do the small claims court thing, but it was definitely worth it in the end.
Did I use the online will to make sure I had killer covered? You bet I did. Then I looked online some more. The information I found on the EAP website taught me a few things I didn't know. So would I use the EAP again with another problem? I sure would. It's easy to do, and they take you seriously. And it doesn't matter if you need something big or little.
Every year, we receive thousands of calls from people just like you.
And thousands more visit our website, www.ndbh.com.
New Directions EAP is free, confidential, and easy to use. Visit us online today to discover the many different resources we offer. Think of us first when you need information or have a question about home, work, or living a life that works for you.